Make it happen. Do it a regular time.
Good idea.
All right, you got it.
Got it, everybody push up. Got it? Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had one on 18. That property, 20.
You want water?
Yeah, thank you.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Did you want one? Ms. Roberts, we're pretty much ready to go.
Yes, we are.
Robert, we're two board members.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This meeting, special meeting of the Board of Directors of the Duluth Community Services District is now in session. You may ask, so Mr. Emmons, the secretary of the district, why do you have the gavel? This is a unique situation where we don't have a quorum because we have two sitting board members and the law says in such a state, the secretary shall act as presiding officer for a few moments until we can obtain a quorum. So the meeting is officially called to order. I'd like to ask everyone to rise and join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Since we are in an emergency situation, operating under emergency COVID orders, we have to authorize both this live meeting and taping by Zoom. So as soon as the directors take the oath of office, we will pass a resolution to make this meeting compliant with all applicable state law. So at this time, we will have the oath of office for our new directors. I should point out that we have state law provides for 5 elected directors on terms or in terms of 4 years, and they're split 3 and 2 so that there's an election every 2 years. This year, 3 seats were up for election. We had 3 candidates submit the papers to the county registrar. And since there were no more than 3, an election did not need to be held because we were only filling 3 seats. And the county supervisors declared the 3 candidates duly elected. Those duly elected directors are, and if you could come up when I call your name, Charles Chuck Bowman, Paula Carroll, and Gina Roston. Would our general counsel do the oath, please? Thank you. Mr. Ward Simmons.
Do you raise your right hand? I state your name.
I
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
and will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
Chair.
I'm sorry? Oh. Mr. Secretary, the new directors have been sworn in.
Congratulations. And this is a 4-year term of office, which begins today, the first Friday of the month of December, and will go on until this time 4 years from now. So congratulations and welcome.
Thank
And now the business begins immediately. I've already warned you that you have to adopt a resolution immediately so we can continue with this meeting. So we have before you as item C, a resolution authorizing on-site and virtual board and committee meetings. What's the resolution number?
2021-09.
The motion is to adopt resolution 2109 or 2021-09 by title only, the further reading be waived, and that resolution 2021-09 be adopted. Is there a motion?
So move.
There a second? We will call the roll. Director Bowman,
Accept.
Director Carroll.
Aye.
Director De La Sandry,
Aye.
Director Roberts,
Aye.
Director Ross.
Aye.
The motion carries by unanimous roll call vote. It's now time for the Board of Directors Annual Reorganization. Nominations are now open for the office of President.
I nominate
Do I hear any
David Rogers,
nominations?
President.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote on the election of Debbie Roberts to be president of the district. Director Bowman.
Aye.
Director Carroll.
Aye.
Director De La Sandry.
Aye.
Director Roberts.
Aye.
Director Rossin.
Aye.
Congratulations, Debbie. You were now president.
Well, condolences, you know, that's.
yeah.
How long?
Congratulations.
4 years.
Good job.
Oh, how long have you served?
How long?
Yeah,
Year.
She,
1
she's
year.
never
Two
been president.
seconds. No.
2 years.
How long does she serve?
Four.
How long does she serve? I
Four.
think it's 1 year.
1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Oh, 1
Just
year.
the president.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, 1
We're
year.
elected every year.
The term, yeah.
Yes, the term of president.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Okay, we will be moving on in terms of the election of the vice president, and I call a motion for the nomination of the vice president.
I nominate Charles Bowman.
Is there a second?
I second.
Roll call. Directors Bowman.
Aye.
Directors Carroll.
Aye.
Director De La Sandry.
Aye.
Director Roberts.
Aye.
Director Ross.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Mr. Bowman is vice president.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on smartly. I now call for nominations for the treasurer, and I will make that move to Robert D. Alessandri. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay.
Roll call. Director Bowman.
Aye.
Director Carroll.
Aye.
Director De La Sandry.
Aye.
Director Roberts.
Aye.
Director Roston.
Aye.
Mr. De La Sandry is treasurer of the district.
Okay, Moving along, item E, nomination and appointment of committees. And the first item, number 1, is to appoint the engineering committee. And I make a motion to appoint the following individuals to that committee. Chuck Bowman. Also, I nominate myself for a transition period of 6 months, which will be through June, a transitional period at which time Gina Rawson will take on that particular role. Is there a second? No second. Okay, yes, thank you.
Roll call, Director Bowman,
Aye.
Director Carroll,
Aye.
Director DeLassandri,
Aye.
Director Roberts,
Aye.
Director Russell.
Aye.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Okay. Our next committee appointment is for the Finance Committee. And in terms of the Finance Committee, I nominate the following individuals: Robert DeAlessandri and Paula Carroll.
Second.
Roll call, Director Bowman,
Aye.
Director Carroll,
Aye.
Director DeLassandri.
Aye.
The Director Rawson,
Aye.
President Roberts.
Aye.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Ignore.
Okay, item number 3 is to appoint the legislative committee members. And at this point, I nominate Robert DeAlessandri and myself. And a motion to appoint these 2 individuals to the legislative committee.
Second.
Roll call, Director Bowman.
Aye.
Director Carroll,
Aye.
Director DeLassandri.
Aye.
Director Rawson,
Aye.
President Roberts.
Aye.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number F, the election of the officers. Mr. Emmons.
At this time, we'll read the action portion of Resolution 2021-10. The Board of Directors does hereby resolve as follows. President shall be Debbie Roberts, Vice President shall be Chuck Bowman, Treasurer shall be Robert DeLassandri. The appointment of General Manager James Emmons as District Secretary is hereby reaffirmed. Committees formed as follows. Engineering Committee shall be Mr. Bowman and President Roberts, with the notation Director Rawson shall assume membership of the committee at July 1st. Is that correct, President Roberts? July 1st.
Correct. Yes.
The Finance Committee shall be Director DeLassandri and Director Carroll. Legislative Committee shall be President Roberts and Director DeLassandri. So the appropriate motion would be to introduce Resolution 2021-10 by title only, that further reading be waived, and that Resolution 2021-10 be adopted. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call, Director Bowman.
Aye.
Paula Carroll.
Aye.
Director Carroll. Director DeLassandri.
Aye.
Director Rawson.
Aye.
President Roberts.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote.
Okay, moving on with the agenda to item number G, which is a public comment section. And let me first double check with Jessica. Do we have any Zoom visitors that are interested? None at this time. Anybody in the audience? No? Okay, then what I would like to do is to allow each of our board members here to do a brief introduction of their background and their interest in serving on this particular board. And as we do with all public comments, you have up to 3 minutes to provide this information. And so why don't we start with you, Mr. Bowman?
Thank you. My name is Chuck Bowman, Charles when I'm in trouble.
I've been in the area, the Duluth area now for almost 5 years. By education, I'm an engineer with a BS and MS degree in electrical engineering, and about 45 years of active engineering work, along with about half of that time working with customers in business development roles, helping them solve problems and finding a way for the companies that I was with to work with them. I retired in 2015. My wife and I both came from more rural backgrounds, and while we were living in downtown San Diego, we decided to look for an area closer to what we had grown up with. When we found Duluth, we focused on this area. It's been such a beautiful area to drive around, and we spent quite a bit of time looking for a home here. Finally found our perfect place in an avocado grove, surrounded by neighbors who have become friends. We find ourselves to fit into the neighborhood very well. People that we find around us are like-minded to ourselves. Physically conservative, socially moderate, and fairly hardworking, and enjoying the environment out here. I love every day that I wake up here. So we've been working on redoing our grove. It's coming along nicely, and we found so much help from the neighbors and friends that we've developed here that it just seems appropriate to try to join in the community and try to make things maybe a little bit better for all of us.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Carroll.
My name is Paula Carroll, and my husband and I moved up to Duluth about 6 years ago. However, we bought our property 7 years prior. We've always come out to Temecula, love the area, and I'm just very pleased to be able to serve on the board of directors. We do have quite a bit of property. We grow olives and grapes and different fruits, and I find that to be just a wonderful outlet for retired people. I've been involved in the Duluth Women's Club for about 5 years and served as secretary for 3 and also member at large for 2. So I was able to help out in different areas of the Women's Club. And again, I'm very, very honored and blessed to be serving on this board.
Thank you. Mr. Alessandri.
Thank you very much. This is my second go round on this board. I was originally a person who left that person's position for a period of 2 years. Then I had a hiatus where I was no longer on the board, and then I was elected by default, you might say, no other opposition 2 years ago. And I've been really pleased to work, especially with Debbie, the last 2 years, and the rest of the board, Mary Ann and others, have had opportunity to see the progress that we've made with Jim. And I think a lot of that progress is related to his abilities in organizing what we do and frankly, making it work. And the evidence of that, for those of you who have listened to what's gone on in the last few years, is the result we've had with FEMA. 5 years ago, we got nothing from FEMA, and this year we've already received almost $2 million. So I think that's just one of the evidences, but there are many, many others. And I could spend the rest of this meeting and the next meeting talking about them, but I won't do that because I'm sure you don't want to listen to me that long. But I do look forward to working with the new board members. And I think we have a great group. I think we have some real opportunities ahead. And I think working with management, Jim, with Teresa, and with the other people in our organization who are wonderful employees, I think we have a really great opportunity to make important changes and to make the community better. And that's really what we're all about on this board. So I thank you very much. I thank all of you who have applied for this position. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. Mrs. Rawson.
Hi, I'm Gina Rotten. My background is from real estate, construction, and land. My father was a developer in Los Angeles, and that's where I grew up. My husband and I moved out to Fallbrook in 1994, and then we came to Duluth in 2000. I've been selling real estate up in Duluth for quite a while and have been involved, seen lots of different, things go on in the community. And I'm very happy to be here to serve. I think it's an honor to serve the community, and I hope to bring something good to the board to help in any way I can. And help promote a better community.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'll be the last here. Many of you, I know of you, some new people who I just met. But Alex and I have been residents here for 14 years next year. And I'm retired from the defense and military industry. My forte, though, was within HR, everything from hiring to acquisitions and mergers. Previously, in terms of community activities, I did serve on the Duluth Women's Club in many a capacity. Had a lot of fun, especially when we did our fundraisers, also with the help of your dad and your mother, Chris and Todd. And then I also served on the Sandia Road Committee, of which two of the former members are sitting up front here, Guy and Eddie. And they asked me for some help. And ever since then, I've been involved with this community really hardcore in terms of the district, in terms of the road, the law enforcement, and so forth. And one day I had a gentleman approach me that sat on this board here, and I thought maybe he was going to be here today, but he's not. Jim Brady had a long conversation with me and really did twist my arm to say, come on, Debbie, get on board. So my first year, along with being a board member, I sat on the engineering committee. My second year, I became the chairperson of the engineering committee, and I was also appointed as VP. So I'm going into my third year with this. And so I'm pretty excited about it. I have some really big shoes to fit. I tell you, Marianne Byers was just tremendous, just a great individual in helping this group up here, plus the staff, move things forward. So in closing, I think Robert already mentioned a few things. A great deal has been accomplished with this board, along with the community. I want to thank Jim and all of his staff, including our external staff, the engineers, Hunt and Stein and Liebring, and of course, our expert legal counsel, Ward Simmons. You play a pivotal role with all of us here in terms of once in a while when certain little things come up, you've been very valuable. And again, I know I look forward to things moving forward. We've had many accomplishments. We still have some projects we need to continue with this first half of the year, but they're going to be done. And I'm looking towards a positive and productive 2022. And I thank you for this opportunity. Okay, moving on. Next item is going to be the consent calendar, and these are items expected usually to be routine, and they include the minutes of November 17th, 2021, the general funds claim for November 2021. Number 3 is the sheriff's special tax claim also for November 2021, and purchase orders are none at this particular time. Are any questions?
Move approval.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, starting with you, Mr. Bowman?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
D'Alessandri?
Aye.
Rawson?
Hi.
Roberts, aye. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Okay, item number I, authorized signer on district financial accounts. Jim or Teresa?
This would be Teresa.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. This is a resolution is for consideration to adopt new signers on our bank accounts. We have 2 bank accounts with Banner Bank currently. Every time there's a change on the board, new signature cards have to be filled out and all the paperwork completed. And I want to thank all of you very much for getting me back all the forms and questions and information that we sent out. We really appreciate it. What we will do is we have May Almaquib. She is our representative from Banner Bank, and she should be walking in the door any minute. But what will happen is when we adjourn the meeting, she will need you all to sign the signature card and look at your driver's license and take a copy of your driver's license. It should be a very quick process. So I'll introduce you all to her when she gets here.
Okay.
Let's see, just a couple of little facts, and I'll fill you in on more information as time progresses. You all will be signers on the account. We require one signature on a check if it's under 25,000. If it's over 25,000, then 2 signatures are required. So there is no signers in-house. It's all the signing is done by the directors. We're starting to do direct deposit for our payroll and a few other things. And that is done over your phone. It's just an approval process, which when you should need to do that, I'll go over all that with you. So don't worry about that. And then we usually have a check run once a week. So what I usually do is give you as much notice, and Robert's been great. Robert's been doing 99.9% of it all. So maybe we'll be able to spread it around a little bit. But anyway, I will definitely keep you all informed of, all the particulars on that. And that's all I have to say until the end, and we'll get with May and get everything taken care of. Is there anything else, Mr. Evans?
Just an extension on signers. Just for internal purposes, while everyone is a signer, generally first the treasurer, and secondly the president. So they kind of just do that institutionally. And the third would be the other member of the finance committee. And then after that, we would contact members to sign checks, basically. So we're not going to be calling you all the time,
Yeah.
except for Robert. Poor Robert, he's down here having to sign all this stuff. Anyway, the appropriate motion would be that resolution 2021-11, which is a resolution of the board designating parties authorized to sign a district bank account, be introduced and read by title only, further reading be waived, and that resolution 2021-11 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Director Spowman.
Aye.
Director Carroll.
Aye.
Director D'Alessandri.
Aye.
Director Rossman.
Aye.
President Rock.
Aye.
The motion is approved by unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item J, roadway reconstruction projects, and this is via Vaquero, Sandia Creek. And Jim, how are we going to be handling that since Mr. Hunt is out?
Mr. Hunt is fell ill very recently and cannot be here, so I'm going to give the report as briefly as I can.
Okay,
This long-awaited construction project, which is FEMA funded, it's about a $1.1 billion project, officially began on Monday. Marietta Construction, which is a local company, they were the low bidder on this project. Previous board awarded the contract. There were some delays getting material, but finally we broke ground, so to speak, on Monday. And I'd like to introduce 2 people involved in this project who I may call on in a moment, but I want to introduce them. The first is Cody Close, who represents Marietta Development. He's waving back here, and he's the project manager for the construction company. And I can tell you that during the past 4 days, since Monday morning kickoff, Cody's been right on top of it, and we've been communicating locked cell phone to cell phone, early morning calls. I can attest that he, as the contractor, is on the job and on top of things from everything I have observed person who's temporarily assigned to our staff. He works for Wildan as Dave and Ron work. And his name is Paul Merrill. Paul, wave, yeah, put your hand up. He's what we call the project inspector. So Dave runs the job for the district as the district engineer. But Paul is on site 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or as long as it takes as our representative. So one of the processes when, because we're contracting out our staff, okay, is the inspector checks in with us. He now knows me. He knows Teresa, Jessica, our field crew. But he's basically our eyes and ears out there. He can stop the project, he can modify the project, and it's all on behalf of us, the owner. Okay, we're the owner. So anyway, Paul is right on top of things, and I've been communicating with him. We all are getting to know him. He's basically going to be on our staff for the next couple of months until the project is complete. So anyway, I wanted to take this chance, since we're all here together today, to introduce the folks that are out there actually making this project happen. Pipes are being delivered. The area is being prepared, and so as you drive by, you'll see a lot of activity out there. And so I'm real pleased with what I've seen. And if you have any questions of me or our staff, Paul, or our contractor, Toby, they'll be here with a little luncheon at the end. Introduce yourself, and any questions you may have, they'll be happy to help us out. That's what they're here for.
Very good. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
I might make comment. I would suggest you not drive by. That they're pretty busy and with limited space. So there's enough people driving by looking for Fallbrook that it would really be better to wait until it's finished and then drive over the finished product. So I think that's probably a better way to approach it. And maybe if you come to these meetings in the future, we'll have actual pictures of how this is proceeding. So I think that would be a better way to do that. Also, my property is down there, and you get in the way of my going around there.
And Mr. Pilasandre, I don't know if you know, driving in, directional signs have been put.
I did see that.
Yes,
And that was our man Dustin here.
thank you.
We kind of talked about that about 10 o'clock yesterday morning, but the time Dustin left, they were up.
That's terrific.
Hopefully we can, because there's a lot of activity going on down
Yes.
there. It's a great idea to have that.
We also placed two lists for this morning at 5 a.m.
That's okay.
for the detour, so people don't turn down their street and get stuck on your drive.
Thank you. We all are kind of in the same area, so it's really nice.
If you need anything else, let us know.
Okay, will do. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Emmons,
That completes Mr. Hunt's report. Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
have one more.
Buena Vista, it hasn't changed, nothing has changed since
Okay.
the last board meeting. Well, I guess really, we got new people. Buena Vista is in the environmental review process. And that takes forever. And anything you've ever heard about how difficult it is to get through all the environmental agencies is absolutely true. State Water Board, Fish and Wildlife, and 3 other agencies. I can't remember their names, but they move very slowly. So the project is all designed. We can begin construction yesterday, but we're in the waiting mode for all the agencies to determine that it will be compatible. Our project will be completely compatible with the environment. So there will likely be tweaks, and this bush can't be touched, and this little meadow can't be disturbed. That's what we're going through. they've decided all those things, they give us the permit, away we go. So it's hard to predict, but we guess that we will have our permit sometime in the spring.
Okay,
And as soon as those permits arrive, we're ready to go, and that project will take place. And we have, it's not Marietta, it's Southland, was the low bidder on that project. And they have been out and working with our people, and so they're ready to go. It's just we're waiting. So that concludes the engineer's report for this meeting. There'll be much more engaged back.
okay, thank you very much.
Excuse me, can I have a question?
Sure.
What about Via Vaquero? When do you plan to do that?
Well, perhaps Cody
As
could.
soon as I get the pipe underneath San Diego Creek and the dirt brought back up, as the concrete guy is building the head wall, I'll go close San Diego Creek, try to close it for 5 days. And I'm gonna try to get the pipe in there and paved back so we can open the road before the concrete comes in, pending rain.
Now, be a careful.
Be careful.
Oh,
We're gonna finish San Diego, we're gonna put the pipe in San Diego Creek. While they're building the concrete head walls, I'm gonna go do the piping on Via Vaquero, and then we'll go back pave San Diego Creek while the concrete guys work on it.
Very good, thank you.
We're gonna try to do it for road closure for 5 days,
And what's your expectation for finishing the project on San Diego Creek?
February,
February?
depending on, I'm giving you a long stretch. My expectation, I'm gonna be done in 2 to 3 weeks. The concrete guy will be there a month, pending no rain.
So possibly 6 weeks.
6 weeks, possibly 6 weeks.
That's assuming no rain.
Yeah, I understand.
We have rain for next Thursday, Friday already, and we have, the creek is blocked right now, I'm pumping it around, so I'm gonna work late next week, to try to get at least 2 barrels in to get the water.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item K, traffic safety and road maintenance. And let's see, Mr. Steve is coming in on Zoom, and you'll be able to see his presentation here on the television. So Mr. Steve, we're ready for you.
Hi, good afternoon. Good to meet all you board members. And Jessica will be pulling up a slideshow for you.
Okay.
Steve, you're up and ready to go.
I'm ready to go, but I don't see the slideshow. Jessica, do you have that coming up?
It is up.
Well, it's not up for me. All right. That's gonna be difficult. Let's see how we do this.
Just read through it. Just read through it, Steve.
I can't see anything is what I'm saying.
No, what I mean is, you don't have a hard copy?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was
Okay,
gonna
I'll
need
tell you what, why don't I read it and you can. County update, county has now installed RPMs along the entire street for better nighttime and foggy weather guidance. That must be Duluth.
that. Project's done on Duluth Road. Okay.
That's a county project, but we monitored it. The changeable message board's been moved to San Diego Creek to encourage drivers to exercise caution and watch their speed. The next location planned is for Del Oro.
Correct.
Okay. You're explaining, I guess, what the traffic engineer's role is, which involves setting the speed limits or recommending to the board speed limits. Signs, all the signs, road signs, striping, anything related to traffic and safety, which includes intersection visibility, and newly proposed driveways, checking visibility at any street locations. And then as a continuous spot review of contractor traffic control, this could be contractors working for the water district or Edison or private parties. To also conduct studies, reports, collect data, and make evaluations presented to the board. Basically, any traffic issues, this is under California motor vehicle laws, require, in other words, you can't just say, that looks like they should have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit or a stop sign at this location, because the courts won't enforce it unless the board has adopted it, subject to documented reports, data, and evaluation. So that's essentially, when they go to court, this is what Sam, our deputy, deals with. The person who got the ticket for running the stop sign says there shouldn't be a stop sign there, so the judge will say, Sam, where's the data? And they'll usually continue it for 3 weeks or whatever. And we have produced that data. So that's Steve's job. He was a licensed, California licensed traffic engineer. And so that's what you'll be getting, these reports. And I'm really talking to the 3 new board members about what Steve's role is. Anyway, here's the upcoming projects he's actually working on right now to bring you up to speed. Request for an always stop at Los Gatos and Carancho. You'll probably see that in January. Another request for always stop at La Cruz and Sandy Creek. Looking at the speed limits on Carancho, speed limits on Via Vaquero, speed limits on Santa Rosa. And we're also, because we know there's going to be a lot more traffic going down Sandy Creek as soon as that's reopened, we're getting a database of what was it before we reopened it. So when you see the tubes out on the street zone, that's what we're doing. Is how much traffic do we have today? Is the road closed versus what we're going to have a month from today, or whatever, but a month from the end of construction. And that's all the things that our traffic engineer, Steve LeGrange, is working on.
And just to
Those
elaborate
lines
on
are
that,
already out.
Yeah, okay, good.
I've driven and noticed them in lots of different places, Sandia Creek, Carancho, Via Vaquero. And I wondered about that, and that explains why they're out there.
That's why.
Yeah, good.
and we'll be
Yeah, we get a
collecting
lot
data the
of,
rest of the week.
This is more of the maintenance area, which I'm going to talk about in my report. But as far as maintenance, the field service people have to deal with whatever is thrown at them. People like to leave their trash and other things on our road, and sometimes most of the time we have to pick it up for them, pick it up. And now they're leaving trailers, and this is an example. So we have to and then people start stripping these trailers, and then we have to get rid of them. And you think about where do you go with a trailer that's all jacked up? You basically have to take it apart. So our field crews is pretty innovative at working on those problems like this. So, Steve, what's the next slide? Am I doing okay?
You're doing great.
Oh, I think I heard him say, yeah, great. I don't know what the next slide is, so can we just stop at this point? Is there another slide?
We should be to the end.
That's the rough around. I think I've already concluded keep going, keep going.
Yeah, I think all we need to,
Well, we'll end on that note. Life is fun and never a dull moment. But essentially, that's what our traffic engineer does, and he reports to you every month. We've got quite a few projects. Most of those came from the public request. So we'll be reporting, and we'll have all the data, and you'll make a decision.
Okay,
hey, Jim,
moving on to maintenance, Mr. Emmons.
Actually, I
Did that all too? Okay, we're good?
I'm going to talk a little bit more about it.
Okay. All righty, thank you very much. Okay, moving on.
Oh, excuse me,
Uh-huh.
there is a slide.
Okay.
As far as what's going on in terms of maintenance right now, shoulder grading, keeping the growth and vegetation growth out of the roadway, especially at intersections. We're cleaning drains because there's coming on, we're pretty well finished. But we have 780 drains that we take care of. And that's a lot of facilities. Those drains are anywhere from 6 foot to 3 foot, 2 foot to 6 feet diameter to 400 that we're responsible for maintaining. And if we don't, the road washes away. So anyway, picking up trash, streets, potholes, patching, striping, signs, maintain our office, and maintain our vehicles and heavy equipment. So that's what our field service group does. And temporarily, for the time being, Steve is overseeing that for me. So I think, Steve, if you can hear me, I think I've completed your report.
Yeah, that covers the essential part of it. Yeah, I had just a few pictures of some other things, but that's just to give you an idea of what the reports will look like on each month.
And Steve is running the marathon in the city of Waukesha, where he is also the city of Waukesha traffic engineer. So that's why he's by Zoom today, because he's got his hands full with all these runners coming tomorrow. So
Okay.
they're running on the public streets, so that means that Steve's got right hurt on it. So that's what he's up to.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, moving on to item L, which is the 2021 Merit Incentive Program. And that is,
I thought there was a motion that we were going to pass to
Is
the
on
board.
the document. So
No,
you-
see, I don't have that.
Where is it? You have it? Item L.
Anyway, we met, let me go a little bit with some background. Last year or the year before last, we implemented a merit incentive program for employees. The concept was that they would be evaluated for their ongoing work, the job that they are assigned to. That would be not part of this merit program. That's something separate. The merit program would be for a new project that they would recommend and implement, something that would not necessarily be part of their daily activities. And last year we had some very interesting projects, and last year the board approved these merit incentive right about this time of year. The plan was to do this at about this time of year in December. So we met with the employees this year who, thank you, who presented to us their projects for the year. The concept here is that they should have, at some point during the summer or before, met with Jim, talked about the projects, laid out a plan to do them, and then implement that over the year. And then make the presentation, basically what the plan was, what they were supposed to do, what the results were, and the benefit to the organization. We met yesterday. We're very pleased with the presentations, and I believe you have in front of you agenda. You have this. Yes, you have agenda item L. You decided not to give it to me because I should have known all of this. But anyway, you have that, and what we're asking you to do is to approve the recommended awards of the members that you have in front of you. That last year it was 2.5%. This year the maximum is 3%. So I would go ahead and make a motion that we approve the awards as outlined on the agenda item.
Second.
roll call. Bowman,
Aye.
Carroll,
Aye.
D'Alessandri,
Aye.
Rawson,
Aye.
Roberts, aye. Unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Item F, the general manager's report.
Okay, like I've talked a lot today, so I'm just going to talk about two items that are current, that we're working on and have been in progress for some time. I talked briefly about the job of the traffic engineer. Steve LeBring, and I want to revisit that. Steve LeBring works for Willdan. He's retired. He retired. I think he worked for 6 cities. Some of them I can think of is Irvine, Corona. He retired out of Riverside probably in 2014, and he was City of Riverside traffic engineer. After he retired, he went to work for Willdan, just like Paul and Dave and Ron. And he's assigned to various agencies. Like today, he's in like their traffic engineer. Here we're a road district, so he's our traffic. So we don't use him for. as needed basis. A year ago and 4 months, the maintenance superintendent more or less abruptly retired and left. And I have been monitoring that whole field service department and decided that I really was not at a place where I wanted to replace that position the same as it had been. And I also wanted to understand how the field service operation operated. And so I asked Mr. LeBray to work under my authority to step in, do some of the jobs that were immediate and previously provided by that previous maintenance superintendent, and then to report back over the next 6 months to a year. And then I would decide how to fill these positions in the field service department. He did that, and he had experience in the bigger cities. The traffic engineer was the traffic field crew, so, your street lights and your signal and landscaping. And things like that. So he's had experience with crews in the field. So anyway, we've been working along and everything's going along fine. And we are I'm in the process of making adjustments to that department permanent, probably after the first of the year. So Steve's retired under California FERS, Public Employees Retirement System. And so there are rules that regulate that. In other words, you can't retire and then walk in the next day and take your same job, apply for your job while you're also retired. You can't do that. Would be so obviously wrong. Anyway, there have been one or maybe more anonymous complaints filed formally with California PERS against the district and Mr. LeBray for violating this rules. And when that occurs, you're swamped with information because they don't know what's going on. You have to basically prove what you're doing. And so for the last 3 or 4 months, we've been paperwork and it's legal. I mean, it's possible that Mr. LeBray could lose everything and even have to pay it back. We could get in all kinds of trouble. But I just received an email about 90 minutes ago that they've received all of our information and they find that there is nothing further to do because everything the district has done has been completely in accordance with FERS law, and Mr. LeBray has violated nothing. So he and his wife are very happy because potentially they had their retirement come on the line. But somebody has said that Mr. LeBray didn't know what they were doing. We're doing bad things. And in the paper, you go into those state agencies, the paper they have wanted us to provide and all that. Of course, this is legal, so you guys have worked with Ford and his people. They have a department that actually handles these things. So it's very, very complicated, but anyway, we did what we were asked to do. We provided all the information. They wanted to know what we were doing down here. And we showed them, and they asked for more and more and more and more and more. We kept giving them to them. No more requests as of today. They're done. They completed their evaluation. No. So anyway, we'll be proceeding by our field service department within the next couple of months.
Okay.
Second thing, now this is really good. I hope we've talked about arbitration. The FEMA arbitration. Well, what the heck? Why would we be arbitrating FEMA? We had, in addition to Sandy Creek and Villa Vaquero, in the storms of 2019, we had 54 other sites that were damaged. And in the FEMA world, each site is like its own entity. So and Marietta Construction was low bid and fixed all of those sites for us. but those were called small projects. That is a different entity than large projects with FEMA, which is what we're doing right now, is considered a large project. So when we talk to FEMA, you have to have your large project hat on, or you have to have your small project hat on. And the two don't come together except they happen to be the loops. Okay. So all the small projects are completed. We completed those a year to 2 years ago. And then we submitted the request for reimbursement. We were advised that anytime there was extra engineering, extra environmental, all these things that happen, not to worry about it. Just submit it at the end of the closeout. Well, this was a $2 million job. All these projects combined, or $1.5 million. And the extras amounted to $500,000. So you submit everything to the state, OES, who then submits it to FEMA. For some reason, Cal OES is recommending no extra. And it's not just us, okay? And you get 2 appeals. So on the first appeal, our request for $525,000 came back 0, denied, you get 0. Not $100, not $1,000, not anything, 0. So I went to Sacramento myself and I said, we're gonna find out what it is for our second or first appeal that we did wrong here. Why is this not qualified in other years? So I did that. We spent a lot of time, and Teresa spent months on the financial side, and Ron Stein spent months, and we submitted our appeal. Guess what? We opened the mail one day. 0. But you have one last appeal. Or you can go to arbitration. So Teresa brings it in, and there's some form where you just have to check these boxes and sign. And everybody just signs appeal, and it's really a simple process. I think, why the hell would I do that? I've already got 0. So I checked the box, arbitration. And actually, I was with Teresa and Debbie at a conference 4 months ago, and it's the whole head of disasters for the state of California on the cell phone to Teresa saying, I gotta talk to you guys. So I stepped out of the room and he said, what are you doing? You should appeal. You can't arbitrate against me. And I said, well, why in the hell would I go back to you? And he said, well, I guess you're kind of right. So, but then I called Ward. Actually, Ward was at the same meeting. And I said, so Ward, isn't arbitration where you sit down and talk face to face and work this out? He says, well, no. He calls his arbitration guy. He says, oh, no, it's a full-on trial. So this trial, we had to prepare a case. And instead, it bypasses California. It goes direct to the federal government. This goes back to the old Katrina stuff, where people people ripped them off. So you can go to it, and it's a 3-panel judge panel. And it's FEMA's Homeland Security, U.S. Attorney versus little district. That's right. Board found us, what's his name again?
Matthew Green.
Matthew Green. He put this together, our case, and it was tried right here in this room on this screen, and the 3 judges sit there, and they got the U.S. seal and everything behind them, and we have not gotten the verdict yet. It's under advisement by the 3-judge panel all day, nonstop, 1 bathroom break. And by the end of the day, an hour before it ended, one of the justices said, Mr. Homeland Security Attorney, I know the process is ongoing and evidence and all is still being presented, but I don't know if you've noticed, but in the brief you submitted of your case, your point 1 and point 2 is totally irrelevant to this case. Do you realize that? And he said, well, yeah, I realize it, but I've been so busy. And I only had 5 weeks to prepare. I gotta get it. I gotta move to Washington. Anyway, I only had 5 weeks to prepare that. I just couldn't quite get it done. So just cross those off. And the judge said, but sir, you've only got 3 points. Anyway, our attorney put them away. I've seen a lot of legal things, and I just sat and watched. He didn't do any magic. And it was one of the best cases I've ever seen presented. And it was short, to the point. Now, we're keeping our fingers crossed how it comes out. But Ron Stunning testified for us because the attorneys decided. So basically, he put me on the stand. Who's to lose? Where are they? Blah, blah, blah. And that we had a great relationship with all the FEMA people, and that they're the ones who told us how to do this. And what we didn't want to do is to burn our FEMA rep. He still works for FEMA. You don't want to say bad things, because if we win, he's in trouble. So our attorney skillfully, when they put our representative on the stand, he said, have you read, we heard you had a great relationship with Jim and Teresa and Duluth and all these people. Oh yeah, what? Okay. But they didn't get any money. And he said, yeah. And he said, well, have you seen what state of California recommended, the zero? Yeah. And he said, you really think that's fair? And he said, no. But that state of California, I work for a federal government. That's the way the case ended. So we didn't burn our rep, and he paid us back. And California's getting it back. So we'll see.
Okay.
It's $500,000. And it came up from a board meeting. So why are we spending all this money to get this money? You know, it'll probably be 30,000, something like that. But you put up 30 to try to get 525, because if I had checked that other box, the letter would have been zero. So it's gamble, but we'll let you know as soon as it hits. But I was really proud of our team, because I was just, except that little thing I got to watch the whole thing. And Ward Shop did a great job, and that's Stein. You know, he's a fairly young engineer, and testifying, giving expert testimony. There's an art to it, and he was just dead on. Anyway, I called him as soon as it was over. Young man, you did a great job, fabulous job. So
Good.
that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, and legal counsel, Mr. Simmons.
I just have a short report. Jim recommended, since most of you are new, to put together a reference guide, at least for all things legal for the district. So that's what I've got over here. I'm going to pass out in a few minutes or right after the meeting. It talks about, different people from our firm that are working with the district, some of the sources of law that the district relies upon. There's information about the Brown Act, the role of the general counsel, new director introduction to ethics. So if you've got insomnia some night, feel free to read yourself to sleep. And it's not meant to be something that you read from cover to cover. Just hopefully dip into when you have certain questions about legal issues pertaining to the district. So that's the goal.
Okay.
There is something else really, and that is that each of us has to complete a course on ethics and what was the other one?
Harassment.
That's right. So, and we can do this online, and Jessica will provide you with the information and how to connect. It's an hour, and you have to be there the hour, because you have to be there at the start and the end. I don't know what you do in the middle, but that's where you have to be. But anyway, that's something that we each have to do every year. Isn't it every year or every 2 years?
It's every 2
years.
Every 2 years, right? So that's part of that. That's true. And I do think that paying some attention to the Brown Act information. I haven't seen the information. That's really important, because there can be inadvertent violations of that where you don't intend it. And it can be a problem. Anyway, you'll take a look at it. I'm not going to go into it. He's prepared that, and I think it is very important to look at that.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you very much. Well, that concludes our meeting for today. So the meeting is adjourned. Have lunch.
And, yeah, congratulations. And just to let you know, we have May here now for the May